While picking up my wife early from the airport as a surprise, I saw her kissing a stranger outside the terminal. She laughed and said he still thinks this was a work trip. Poor guy even sent flowers to my hotel. Meanwhile, I was screaming another man's name all weekend. I waited until she got in the car, greeted her with a smile, and asked how the conference went. She had no idea I was already planning the most devastating revenge imaginable. 3 days later, my phone blew up with 38 panicked messages. That's when she realized I wasn't just smiling. All right, so I'll just get right to it because I know how these posts usually go. Everyone's either like, bro, you missed the signs. Or, nah, this can't be real. But I wish it wasn't. I'm just some dude, Stanley, 31, married to June for just over 3 years. No kids, no wild story for how we met either. If you want to know, we actually met because both of us got scammed into this dumb outdoor survival experience. You know those weird targeted ads on your feed that look legit but are just some guy with a tent in a stack of granola bars? Yeah, that's us bonded over being the only two that showed up and realized the whole thing was a joke. Anyway, we got close fast. It always felt like we were on the same wavelength about how dumb people act online and how everyone's always pretending. I guess that's why this whole thing hit different. Like I always thought we were immune to all that fake stuff. Marriage was just the next step. Neither of us was looking for some big fairy tale. Just figured we'd go through life together and not take things too seriously. So, what's been weird lately? I wouldn't even say it was anything huge, just a vibe thing. Like, June started getting really into solo time and suddenly she's always got her phone on Do Not Disturb, even at home. I'm not the jealous type for real. My ex used to say I was too chill. But when someone you live with acts like you're going to pop out of the laundry basket and read their texts, it gets weird. She starts talking about this retreat thing. Says it's to clear her head, networking, whatever. I didn't overthink it. My mom kept saying I should go visit her and dad more, but I didn't want to be that guy who's all needy just because his wife is busy. For the record, we're not rich, not influencers, just regular people. I drive an old hatchback. She's always complaining about how our Wi-Fi sucks and her phone never charges, right? So, anyway, June's gone for a long weekend. I'm home. I do the usual laundry, try to fix the leaky sink, binge some dumb shows. I send her one of those flower delivery things to her hotel room just to mess with her. Like, who even gets flowers on a work trip? Figured it would be funny. I get a text. Just a heart emoji. Nothing else. Then Sunday night, I'm scrolling through my phone and realize, damn, I actually miss her, so I figure I'll pick her up from the airport early, not some let's catch her cheating thing. Just wanted to do something nice for once. I don't tell her. Just check her flight online and set an alarm. Monday morning, I drive out, stop for coffee on the way, almost spill it all over my pants at the drive-thru. Classic. Get to arrivals. It's chaos. People everywhere. The usual airport vibe. Everyone acting like they're so busy, but just standing around scrolling. I'm waiting outside. Kind of awkward, leaning on the car, wondering if I should go inside with one of those dumb signs. Decide. Nah, too cringe. Then I see her. She's got her hair up and she's wearing this jacket I've never seen before. There's a guy with her, tall, kind of scruffy, not what I'd call her type, but IDK what that even means anymore. I'm about to walk over and say what's up, but then I see her like full on, just goes up and kisses him. Not some quick peck either. I literally stop walking, just stand there, coffee in hand, trying not to look like a total idiot. They're laughing, talking. She's got that voice she only uses when she's trying to sound cool. Then I hear her say it. She says something about how he still thinks this was a work trip. Poor guy even sent flowers to my hotel. Then she laughs and then she says, meanwhile, I was screaming another man's name all weekend. I don't even know if the guy was listening or just pretending to, but he kind of smirks and shrugs. And then he picks up her suitcase and starts wheeling it toward the curb. I just duck behind a pillar like some weirdo. I don't even know what I'm doing. Just standing there, phone in my pocket, hand shaking a little, but not in a dramatic way. Just annoyed like, of course this is happening to me. She hugs him real quick and then walks straight toward the pickup area. Scrolling her phone, I snap out of it, walk up, pop the trunk. She sees me, does this little double take, then puts on the fakest smile I've ever seen. She gets in, says, "Oh, you're early." I say, "Yeah, wanted to surprise you. How was the conference?" She goes off about how exhausting it was, how networking is brutal, and hotel food is trash. I just nod, drive off. The whole time she's rambling about her roommate from college who she ran into at the hotel. How small the world is. How she's so glad to be home. She keeps checking her phone. I ask if she wants to get breakfast. She says she just wants to shower and nap. I say, "Sure, whatever." She slams the front door when we get home. Throws her bag down. Heads straight to the bathroom. I stand in the kitchen just staring at the fridge, thinking like, what do I even do now? I text my friend Gage, tell him I need to talk, but he's at work. I go into the bedroom. Her stuff's everywhere. She left her suitcase half unzipped. Her phone's charging on my nightstand. I don't know what I'm expecting to see, but I open the suitcase, clothes, some receipts, a little hotel shampoo bottle. She comes out, sees me, asks what I'm doing. I say, "Just looking for my earbuds." She narrows her eyes at me, and then storms off to the living room, turns on the TV. I go to the bathroom, lock the door, just sit on the edge of the tub for a sec. And this is where I guess I should say I had some big emotional moment, but honestly, I just felt pissed. Not even sad. Just like insulted. I think about texting her mom, but decide, nah, not yet. Their family's nosy, but they'd instantly take her side. I hear her pacing around, slamming kitchen drawers, probably looking for a snack. I go out and ask if she's okay. She snaps at me, says she's tired, says maybe I should go do something useful. I say, "Sure, I'll go out for a bit." I sit in the car in the driveway, scroll through old pics, just trying to figure out where I missed it. Then I remember the flowers. I log into the delivery site, check the receipt. She never even mentioned them. I text Gage again, just says, "Yo, can't talk. Boss is here." I don't really care. I start making a list on my phone of stuff I need to check. Join accounts, bills, shared passwords, stuff you don't think about until you have to. I go back inside. She's on the phone with someone. Voice low. Keeps saying, "Babe." And no, he has no idea. I stand in the hallway just listening. She sees me, hangs up, glares at me like I'm the one being sketchy. I ask her if she wants to go for a walk later. She rolls her eyes, says she's not in the mood. I say, "Fine, I'll make dinner." She shrugs, says whatever. I go to the kitchen, start cooking, but I'm not really paying attention, just kind of going through the motions. She comes in, leans against the counter, looks at me like she wants to say something, but just grabs a glass of water and leaves. That night, I lie awake listening to her scrolling through her phone. I can't sleep, so I get up, go for a drive, just up and down the street, not really going anywhere. When I get back, she's asleep on the couch, phone on her chest. I just stare at her for a second. I know what I have to do. Not going to be the guy who just takes it, smiles, and keeps buying flowers like an idiot. She thinks I'm clueless. She's about to find out I'm not. And yeah, I'm mad. Like really mad. Not going to pretend I'm above it. This is just the start. If you think I'm just going to sit back and let her play me, you're in for a ride. I already started making moves. Next update's going to be wild. Trust me, I'm not done. Update 1. So, real talk, nobody ever warns you how much of marriage is just laundry and arguing about who left the milk out. But I guess that's what makes all the weird stuff hit harder. Like after that airport scene, it wasn't like I could just confront her and get some big apology, right? Nah, I just went back to regular life, except now I was basically living with a stranger who didn't even know she'd already lost. Yeah, I was mad, but the pettiness ran deeper than just yelling or throwing her stuff on the lawn. I wanted her to feel it all the way down to her bank account and her ego. Anyway, first couple days back home, it was like she was trying to win some most normal wife contest. She'd leave her phone on the table when she showered, left her laptop open in the kitchen, even cooked dinner twice. She never cooks unless she's trying to distract me. So, that just made it more obvious. LMAO, she's not dumb, but she's not super subtle either. She'd ask stuff like, "Did you talk to your mom lately?" Or, "Hey, do you want to go see Gage and Betty this weekend?" Like, she was checking. I hadn't said anything to anyone. I just said, "Sure, maybe IDK tried to play it like I didn't have a single clue." I started checking our joint stuff that night. Just regular bills in our shared bank account. Not because I expect to find drama there, but because I know how she thinks. And June always gets careless when she thinks she's the smartest in the room. And yeah, right away there's weird charges like Uber rides in the middle of the day, not even in our city, and a random Venmo to someone named Adelaide for a dinner that never happened. She's never had a friend named Adelaide. So, I screenshot it. I pull up our old shared calendar, and there's reminders for appointments she never told me about. I start a note on my phone and just log everything. I'm not saying I'm the next Sherlock, but if you're going to cheat, maybe don't use the same credit card for everything. The next morning, I go to make coffee and she's already up, making this big deal about how she has to go run errands. Total overcompensation. She's slamming drawers, can't find her keys, and when I offer to help, she snaps at me, says she's fine, then slams the door on the way out. I spend the whole day digging through our digital life. I find her old iPad and remember the passcode because she never changed it from the default. Not proud of it. But at this point, I don't care about privacy. Not after what I saw at the airport. There's old texts, a bunch of deleted stuff, but I still see one thread with Samuel that's way too flirty to be nothing. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I didn't feel like breaking something, but honestly, I just felt more determined. I text Gage and ask if he wants to grab a drink that night. He shows up and I just lay it all out. I tell him everything. Airport, the receipts, the weird charges, the texts. Gage is just shaking his head. Says he never liked how June talked down to me in front of people. Like the time she told his girlfriend Betty that I couldn't even fix a dripping faucet without watching YouTube. I ask if I'm overreacting or if I should just confront her and be done with it. Gage goes, "Nah, if you blow up now, she'll spin it and make it look like you're crazy. You got to hit her where it hurts. Make her feel like she's not untouchable." So, I start looking for ways to make her life uncomfortable without doing anything illegal or getting myself in trouble. First thing I do is block her from our joint savings. I move my half into a solo account. Nothing sneaky, just the legal minimum, but enough to make her notice. I also change the passwords for all the streaming stuff, not because I think it'll ruin her life, but just to see if she notices. She does. Next morning, I hear her cursing in the living room because she can't log into anything. She storms into the bedroom, asks if I changed the password. I just shrug and say, "Yeah, I got a weird security alert." She rolls her eyes and stomps off. I start splitting bills in half. Instead of paying everything myself like usual, I Venmo request her for her share. She acts all offended. Says she's tight on cash this month. Can I just cover her and she'll pay me back? I tell her, "Nah, I'm trying to build healthy financial habits." She laughs, but it's awkward. I can tell she's feeling the heat. I also start being way more active in our group chats. Normally, I just lurk, but now I'm making plans, inviting people over, being loud. I want her to know she's not the main character in my life anymore. One night, we're at Gage and Betty's, and June tries to act like we're this perfect couple. She keeps reaching for my hand, but I just keep my hands in my hoodie pocket. Betty asks how June's trip was, and June launches into this whole story about how her hotel room smelled like bleach and she barely slept. I say, funny. You never mentioned that in your texts." She goes silent, then says she was too tired. Gage just raises his eyebrows at me. On the way home, June finally snaps. She accuses me of being distant. Says I've been acting weird since she got back. I tell her I'm just trying to match her energy. She scoffs. Says I'm paranoid, then slaps my arm and tells me to stop being dramatic. I push her hand away, tell her not to touch me right now. She slams the door when we get home. Later that night, she comes into the bedroom, sits on the edge of the bed, starts crying, says she's just stressed, says work has been hell, says maybe we need a break. I ask her if there's someone else. She says I'm being ridiculous, that I should trust her. I just stare at her and say I'm not stupid. She storms out, slams the bathroom door. I hear her on the phone whispering. I text my mom, just say, hey, things are rough with June. Might come by this weekend. She says, I'm always welcome. Asks if I want her to talk to June. I tell her, nah, not yet. Next day, June's all cold, barely says 2 words, leaves early, and doesn't come home until late. I check our account. She's transferred $200 to her own checking. I move another chunk of money out just in case. I start packing up my stuff little by little, not dramatic, just stuff she wouldn't notice missing. My old hoodie, a few chargers, my favorite shoes. I stash them in my car. I also print out all the receipts, the hotel charges, the texts, everything. Put them in a folder and hide it in the trunk. I'm not going to lie, it's exhausting playing the long game, but I want her to sweat. Last night, she finally snapped again. She comes into the kitchen, sees me on my phone, grabs it out of my hand, starts scrolling through my texts. I snatch it back, tell her to chill. She yells at me, says she can't trust me, says I'm acting like a psycho. I tell her I'm acting like a guy who's tired of being lied to. She tries to slap me. I block her arm. She pushes me. I push her back. She storms off and slams the door to the guest room. And that's where we're at right now. She's sleeping in the guest room. I'm sleeping in the bedroom. And neither of us is talking. I don't know if she's planning to leave or if she thinks she can outwait me. But I'm not done. I'm just getting started. The next move is going to make her wish she'd never tried to play me. Watch this space. Update 2. So, I didn't really expect her to cave this fast. Angel. Maybe I overestimated June's patience. Or maybe she just never thought she'd get any pushback from me ever. Because let's be real, I've always been the one who lets stuff slide. I guess that's why she got so bold about lying and why she's been treating me like I'm just some background extra in her main character movie. That's what stings most. She's just been so sure I'd never fight back because I never have before. Anyway, a couple days into operation make her sweat. I started noticing weird little things like she suddenly cares about what I'm doing. Not in a cute way, more like she's paranoid. She keeps asking if I'm going to my mom's for dinner or if I'm seeing Gage, and she'll pop into the room when I'm on my phone, just standing there like she's waiting for me to say something. I start leaving the house without telling her where I'm going just to see her reaction. She tries to play it cool, but she always asks if I want her to come with or what I'm doing or who I'm seeing. So, I start ramping up. I move the rest of my stuff out of our shared closet. Just the stuff I actually care about. Nothing she'd notice missing unless she really looked. My old hoodie, my favorite t-shirts, all my chargers, my backup debit card. I start making it obvious that I'm not around as much. I leave early, come back late, and when she asks what I've been up to, I just say I was out. She hates that. She's always been the type to need updates. She asks if we can have dinner with her parents, says we haven't seen them in ages, and her dad's been asking about me. I say, sure, whatever. Knowing full well that her mom doesn't like me anyway, which is hilarious because I've always been the one trying to keep the peace. So, we go over there and I swear it's like June's performing for an audience. She's all smiles, keeps touching my arm at the table, acts like everything's perfect. Her dad starts talking about some vacation they're planning and asks if we're saving up for anything big. I just say I'm not sure. We've been talking about splitting things up lately. June kicks me under the table hard and gives me this look. Her mom just raises her eyebrows. After dinner, her mom corners me in the kitchen and asks if everything's okay. I just shrug and say, yeah, we've had some rough weeks. I say, I'm not sure what June's told her, but she might want to check in. Her mom gets all stiff and says, maybe I should be more supportive. I almost laugh, but I just say, I'll keep that in mind. On the way home, June barely talks. She stomps up the stairs, slams the bedroom door, and when I come in, she's sitting on the bed, scrolling on her phone. I ask if she's mad. She says she's just tired. I say, cool. Me, too. And I go sleep on the couch. Next morning, I wake up to her standing over me, asking if we can talk. She's got that fake calm voice she uses when she's about to lose it. She says she feels like I'm trying to punish her for something. I tell her I'm just doing what's fair since apparently we're both keeping secrets. She goes pale, then starts yelling, says I'm being childish, that I'm making things worse. She slaps my arm. I push her hand away. She tries to grab my phone. I pull it back. She storms out and slams the door. I text Gage, tell him I need to get out for a bit. He says, come over. So I do. Betty's there, too, and she asks what's going on. I tell them the short version and Betty just shakes her head. Says she always thought June was too much. Gage says, look, if you need a place to crash, you know you can stay here. I tell him I'm good, just needed to vent. While I'm there, June starts blowing up my phone with texts. First, it's where are you? Then it's, when are you coming home? Then it's, are you with someone else? I don't answer any of them. Later that night, I get back and she's sitting in the dark in the living room. She asks if I'm cheating on her. I laugh, say, are you serious right now? She says she's just feeling insecure because I've been so cold. I tell her, you should have thought about that before you started lying to me. She gets up, shoves me, I shove her back, she slaps me. I block her arm. She storms off. The next day, she's super sweet, makes breakfast, asks if I want coffee. She keeps touching my shoulder, trying to act all normal. I just ignore her. She texts me at work asking if I want to have dinner together. I say I'm busy. She says, are you mad at me? I say, I'm just tired. That night, I call my mom and ask if I can come over. She says, of course. Asks if everything's okay. I say, not really, but I'll explain later. June asks where I'm going. I just say, out. She gets all defensive, says, you're not going to your mom's without telling me. I just look at her and say, I just did. I get to my mom's and she's got my old room set up. She doesn't ask a bunch of questions, just makes me tea and gives me space. I scroll through my phone looking at all the stuff I've gathered. Screenshots, receipts, messages. I'm not going to do anything illegal, but I'm definitely going to make this hurt. So, I start making moves. I call our landlord and ask about splitting the lease. I make sure all the bills are in her name. I start cutting off all the little conveniences she's used to, like the shared car. I take my keys and leave her with the bus. I also tell her parents the truth, not in a dramatic way, just the facts. Your daughter's been lying to me. I don't know what she's told you, but I'm done covering for her. Her mom calls her and I hear them fighting through the wall. June screaming. Her mom's yelling back. Then she hangs up and comes looking for me. Says, why did you tell my mom? I say, because I'm not playing this game anymore. She tries to slap me again. I block her arm. She storms off, slams the door. Next day, she's blowing up my phone. Texts, missed calls all day. She even shows up at my mom's house, banging on the door. My mom answers, says, you need to calm down. June yells. Says, I'm ruining her life. Says I'm making her look bad. My mom just says, maybe you should think about your choices. I go back to our place to get the last of my stuff. And June's sitting on the floor in the living room crying. She says, can't we just talk? I say, there's nothing left to say. She tries to grab my arm. I shake her off. She slaps me. I push her away. She throws a pillow at me. I leave, get in my car, drive away. She calls me 38 times that night. I don't answer any of them. She's starting to crack, but I'm not done yet. Next step. I'm going scorched earth. Wait for it. Final update. So, it's wild how the smallest thing can set everything off. Like, I'm at my mom scrolling through my phone and I notice June still using my Spotify cause I see Adelaide's playlist pop up on the now playing. It's just this tiny thing, but it kind of sums up the whole situation. You know, she just doesn't think I'll ever actually do anything. Gal, that's how it's always been. I let her run the show. She talks over me at dinner, picks fights in front of people, makes me the butt of every joke. Just became normal. I guess at some point she figured I'd always just take it, that I'd keep being the chill guy while she did whatever she wanted. But anyway, after I left our place and moved my stuff to my mom's, she starts texting like crazy. At first, it's just the normal stuff. Where are you? When are you coming home? Why aren't you answering? But by the next morning, it's, are you seeing someone else? Are you trying to ruin my life? You need to call me now. I ignore her. Just keep packing up the rest of my stuff in the car. I'm not going to be the one chasing her down for answers. She's the one who nuked everything. She can sit with it. I get a call from her dad, which I was not expecting. He goes, Stanley, what's going on? June's freaking out. Says you're spreading lies. I just say, I'm not spreading anything. Ask her what she did last weekend. He's quiet for a minute, then says, I hope you two can work this out. That's it. I hang up and block his number. I'm done with their drama. TBH. I start going through all our shared stuff, and I realize she's been moving money out of our joint account into her own for weeks. Like, not even being sneaky, just straight up draining it. I transfer what's left into my solo account, then send her a text that says, hey, I moved my share out. The rest is yours. We're done with joint finances. She replies with a wall of text about how I'm being dramatic and making her look bad in front of her family. I just leave her on read. I go back to our place one last time to grab my old game console and a few boxes I'd left in the closet. She's there sitting at the kitchen table with her phone in her hand. Looks like she hasn't slept. She doesn't even look up, just kind of mutters, you're really doing this? I grab my stuff, say, yeah, I'm really doing this. She tells me I'm ruining everything, that I should have just talked to her. I tell her, I saw you at the airport, June. I heard everything. She goes pale, but tries to play it off. Says, you don't know what you heard. I just laugh and walk out. She follows me to the door, tries to grab my arm. I shake her off. She slams the door behind me. Later that night, she starts calling again. I put my phone on, do not disturb. She sends a ton of texts all over the place, angry, sad, apologizing, blaming me. One of them is just, you never cared about me anyway. Another one says, I only did this because you stopped paying attention. Which is classic, trying to flip it back on me. She's always been like that. TBH, if she's losing, she'll drag you down with her. I start going through the last of our bills and accounts. I cancel the utilities in my name, change my mailing address, make sure nothing's left tying me to her. I even take my name off the internet plan. She's going to have to set that up herself, which she hates cause she never understands how to do any of that. I text Gage and Betty, let them know what's up. Gage just says, good for you, man. About time. Betty sends a thumbs up emoji. Her mom calls me a few days later, asks if I can come talk to June. Says she's not eating, not sleeping. Doesn't know what to do. I tell her I'm not coming back. She gets mad. Says I'm being cruel. I just say I'm done being the bad guy for someone else's mess. A week goes by and I start getting messages from people in our friend group. Some of them saying they're sorry, some of them asking for my side. I just tell the truth. Yeah, I saw her at the airport with another guy. No, I'm not making it up. No, we're not getting back together. Some people believe me, some don't. Whatever. The weirdest part is the guy from the airport starts texting me. I don't even know how he got my number. He says, man, I didn't know. I thought you two were separated. I tell him, doesn't matter. Just stay away from me. He sends one more text, says, sorry, I hope you find someone better. I block him. So, now it's just me and my mom for a while. TBH. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. She doesn't ask a million questions, just lets me do my thing. I start looking for a new apartment, start going to the gym again, hang out with Gage more. I feel lighter, I guess, but not in a movie way. More like I can finally hear myself think. June keeps sending texts for a while, but it fades. I hear from Betty that she tried to get back with the dude from the airport, but he's not interested. She's posted a bunch of sad stories online, but I don't check. I block her everywhere. I guess the main thing is I didn't want to just walk away. I wanted her to feel it. To see what happens when you treat people like they're disposable. I wanted her to know she lost. And she does. She's alone. Her family's mad at her. Her new guy's gone. And she's got to start over without me paying her bills. I still get mad about it sometimes, not going to lie. But I feel like I stood up for myself for once. Didn't let her spin it. Didn't let her win. It's not some perfect ending, but it's real. So yeah, if you're reading this and going through something similar, don't just sit there waiting for it to get better. Do something. You don't owe anyone your silence just because it keeps the peace. I'm out. Once loyal.